September 1st, 2001, 10 days before 9/11, I signed papers to join the United States Army National Guard. See, I don't really like to tell people it was the National Guard because I want them to think I was more hardcore. But the reason I joined was for a sign-on bonus. I wanted to get $8,000 is what I was promised, and I didn't want to go anywhere overseas. And so when I signed, my recruiter said, you're never gonna have to leave the state of Florida. So I thought, dang, this is great. I'm gonna get $8,000. I was 17 years old at the time, on my way to 30, and I thought, man, I got this all figured out. So I signed up, I joined, and a little ways down the road, about 3 years, I really felt the call to do full-time ministry. And so I left Florida, where I was in the National Guard, and I came to Arizona. And I was actually able to get some confirmation from my sergeants that I was going to be able to do what's called a general discharge, get out of the military to pursue ministry and what I believe still is my calling. And when I got here to Arizona, I was in the middle of my first year of ministry school, and I remember getting a call from a sergeant in my recruiter's office in Florida, and he said, Josh, we have been activated to go to Afghanistan. So you need to have your butt back here in 2 weeks, or we're going to put a warrant out for your arrest, and you're going to go to jail if you're not here. And I remember at that moment, all kinds of crazy thoughts came to my mind, and I was, not that I'm not willing to serve my country, because I am. I thought that I'm in Arizona, I'm supposed to be here, there's a reason for it. And right at that moment, there was this crazy storm going on inside of my mind and inside of my heart. And I remember right here at Phoenix First Assembly, I went out onto this field, and I was by myself, nobody else was around, and I opened up my Bible. And I remember turning to the book of Mark, chapter 4, and in verse 33, Jesus is telling his disciples, hey, we're gonna go onto the other side of the lake, and they got into the boat and they began to travel across. Well, while they were on the lake, a huge storm came, and all the disciples that were on the boat were in fear for their lives, while Jesus was inside of the boat just sleeping, just taking it easy. And the disciples actually went and they woke him up, they shook him and said, do you not care that we're gonna perish? And he got up, he went outside, and he said, peace, be still. And the storm right at that moment calmed down everything. And they thought, man, how incredible is it that he can even speak to the wind and to the storm and tell it to be quiet, and it will listen. I remember when I read that, there was peace that came into my heart right there. And I knew, man, God's going to provide a way for this to work out. And it wasn't but a day later that I got a call, and they said, you know what, everything's perfectly fine. You left in the perfect time, and we've been able to process all your papers to discharge you out of the military. We're going to give you your general discharge, and everything is good. And I remember going through that, and that's something that I've held on to for my whole life. That wasn't the only storm that I've gone through, and I'm sure that you guys have gone through crazy things, and maybe right now you're going through something in your life that you're going, man, there's no way to have peace in the middle of what I'm going through. And today I want to tell you, man, one of the great things about serving God, not that life becomes easy like I said before, but man, you get this thing called peace from the fruit of the Spirit. Man, God gave me peace in that moment, in that storm, and I believe he could do the same thing for you. If you're going through something today, man, I want to encourage you, man, stop what you're doing. Get alone for a moment. Man, the Bible says that God speaks in a small, still voice. And so take your time, man, get away from everything else and ask God, man, give me peace in the middle of this. I don't care what you're going through. I know that God can provide peace to you. And so today I hope you're encouraged. I hope that speaks something to you. And thanks again for tuning in. As always, guys, stay blessed, and we'll see you next week.